Hello makers, I am really excited to show this to you. This is the default scale Blade Runner Offworld Blimp. The airship seen in Blade Runner. How iconic, how unusual and awesome. This is, again, printed at default scale. It's once assembled, it's 30 inches long, just the hulls. More like 38 inches with the aerials that'll be attached on the front and back and all over the sides. Really big kit. Let me show you some of these features and let me assemble these two hulls. This is some remarkable engineering happening here. Really big parts. First thing I want you to see is the parts are labeled T1 through 6 for the top. If I can get this to focus. Don't know if you can see that, but we've got part T1. Yeah, that's T1 here. Then it's going to go T2, T3, T4, T5, T6. This is bottom, B1 through 6. Again, they're labeled. This has a bulkhead. Each piece have bulkheads, which will keep the shape. I've had this printed before in the past, and they would warp during shipment. Just sitting in the corner, they'd warp. With these bulkheads I engineered into this last year, these will not warp. So strong, lightweight, very nice prints. And one thing I want you to see also as you assemble it is the top is different than the bottom. There's a few little features that are different. I'll show this more to you when it's assembled, but essentially the top has a big dimple here. The bottom doesn't have as big of a dimple, and then the rears are slightly different. This has a crease that goes longer. The bottom has a crease that doesn't go as long. Anyways, what you'll get with the kit is 6 parts for the top, 6 parts for the bottom. I'm going to show you how these assemble. These are all loose pieces right now. You get the 2 screens for the sides and a baggie full of these pins. I'm going to show you how these male and female pins work to assemble all of this. Let's talk about graphics for a moment. There are a lot of little decals involved in this blimp. I'm going to be building a static blimp with no video on the screen, so I'm using this. If you wanted to use a video screen, you can put a tablet behind this. Cut this out, put a tablet behind here. I won't be doing that. I'll be using these instead. By the way, all these graphics will be included with the kit as PDFs. So here is an Offworld version, and then the film used prop at Warner Brothers uses this graphic. This is cut out, applied to the screen, laminated down, sealed, and there is your screen graphic if you don't want to go the whole electronic route. Graphic heavy. 100, let me check here, I think it's 159, yep, 159 individual graphics. There's also a PDF. This is thanks to my friend Kiku, was able to translate all the graphics. So like all these graphics have translations if you print out these pages here. There are 159 graphics. They are provided as PDFs. On a sheet like this, they are, if you can see this, they're all labeled. They've got all the shadow boxes, all the graphics that go on top of the monitor, the Pan Am, all these ads, all the tabs that go on the side of the screens. Boom, got them. These are all printed to default scale. I also have a version of these graphics on white, and instead of a white background, I grayed them out slightly so you can see the edges. Where are we here? Here, I can see the edges. I can trim those out, and they'll look white once they're applied to that dark surface of the blimp. And the maps you can print out on your own. I've got top, starboard. This is bottom, rear. These are my outdated ones. I actually updated these a couple days ago. So these are now labeled. Here is bottom. I printed these out as 11 by 17s. rear, front. All your locations are numbered. Insane amount of work went into this. Port side, all your locations with numbers. Your shadow box locations, all the specific graphics for your different shadow boxes. Got starboard and top. Identified, labeled, and mapped. I've already put these two together. Let's put these two together. I'm going to show you that there's registration holes. As these match up, there's a hole here, here, along the sides, and then that holds these two together, the holes, and then these holes will hold the parts to their front and back mates. Alright, let me go ahead and change camera position so we can see how this assembles. For assembly, we're working with these pins. There's a male and a female. Male cap, female pin. And these register through the holes that are in the bulkheads. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, there's 6. So there's 6 holes in here. We're going to put the... Oh, by the way, this is one of my prototypes. This is B2 and B3 for the bottom centerpiece. Actually, forward centerpiece. I'm going to go ahead and put this pin in here to get me started. That's the female. I'm going to put the male cap in here, snap it, good to go. Down here, I'm going to get this female in. Actually, I've got 2 males. Get a female in here. Pop it in. Get your male. And pop that. Let me get some pliers real quick and snap those in. Okay. There's the first 2. You can see what I did. I've got a pin there, and now it's going to be a matter of reaching inside there and attaching the other pins. By the way, when you do this, this is just a rough assembly. What I'll probably end up doing is running beads of CA glue through the middle, maybe some super thin CA. Oh, I had one here a second ago. I don't have it right now. But I'm going to run CA through the centers, through the seams, get it really adhered. If you super wanted to get it adhered, you can run glass inside this. I can get some epoxy putty and put epoxy putty through the holes left and right to mate them. I'll probably do that for the front and back mates as well. But I'm going to go ahead and assemble the rest of this off camera, and let's see what this looks like fully assembled. I will tell you that it is very difficult to get these pins into the holes that are way deep inside here. So I'm using these little forceps things and placing the female in. And now what I'm doing is I'm going to permanently adhere these inside and out with the super thin super glue CA. This is a brand I haven't used yet. I usually use MaxiCure, but they do not have that, and I don't have any spare right now. And I'm using a little pipette applicator. You can buy, I think it's like you get 50 of these for like $8 or $9. Very inexpensive. So my seam line is here and here. Let's make sure. Left and right, and then it seams right here. So I'm going to run a bead of super thin. I've got some spray kit here. Just going to make sure I don't have any runs, any buildup. That looks fine to me. Okay, there we go. And then I'm going to also do this on the inside. I'm going to run a bead here to secure T2 and T3, and then another bead here to secure the back. Since this stuff is so runny, I'm not going to let it have a chance to do much before I spray kick it. Okay, now let's seal left and right. Okay, done. I'm going to go ahead and run this down the rest of the center. Oops. Boy, I tell you, those pins hold this extremely tight. Well done. Alright, and it's going to be the same process for attaching the back to the front with the pins holding it initially, and then backing it up with the CA glue. I'm running some extra thick super glue, my favorite brand name, MaxiCure, across the bulkhead here at the center. Just to bond it really well. I'm going to give this super thick a minute to kind of seep into the opening. I might actually push it in just a tiny bit. I want a very good bond. I'm going to go ahead and spray kick that. Looking good. Alright, and there is a fully assembled top. I made a little bit of a goof here with a little bit of overrun on the super glue, but this whole thing is going to need to get cleaned up and high fill primer smoothed out. I want a really nice smooth finish on this, so this is going to take a little bit of post-processing. And here it is. Check this out, guys. This is crazy. This is an absolute beast of a model. 30 inches long with the aerials attached, about 36 to 38 inches long. Man, what a project. Let me go over a few more little details on this before I close this video out. There's a whole bunch of cables that run down the spine. They go down the sides. They're laterally detailing all this. You would do that with a cable. This might be a little bit too thick of a gauge, actually, this one. This is an old USB cable. But anyways, you get the idea that once you're finished cleaning this, smoothing it, this is completely unclean, by the way. There's nothing done to this. Just no cleaning yet. You'll just add the cables here. There's some that run down this way, crossways. I think there's one down here. Over here on the sides, there's a whole bunch of cabling. Just go ahead and grab the proper gauge cabling and just go crazy with it. This is the angle we're all used to seeing this blimp, mostly from underneath, and this angle here, just to give the idea of the scale. Here's the screen that would live somewhere like that. This is a monster of a model, and it's not for the beginning modeler. You're going to want to have a lot of experience. Like all of the screen and the gondolas and everything is going to need to be attached with copper wire, so you need to know how to braze metal tubing and get all those attachments. There's all kinds of gantry stuff going on. Not hard once you learn how, but yeah, this is for the advanced modeler. I've given a little bit of thought on how this model can be supported. It's not very heavy, but you're definitely going to want to have some internal support. So I was kind of playing around here with some metal tubing, and I think what I might do for my build is cut away these bulkheads to reveal these holes and drop in a piece of aluminum, maybe on both sides, maybe just on the bottom, maybe on the top and bottom. I think maybe just the bottom, and maybe one will be enough. But you slice those away, drop in a metal rod. This is a piece of steel. Get it attached at as many points as you want, and then maybe if it's deep enough, you can put a brace coming out of the side. I think the film used blimp has a brace on the top, I think, which would mean attaching another bracket up here and then drilling an access hole, which I think they actually did do on the opposite side, on starboard side. They've got a pole coming out. But anyways, sky is the limit for how you want to support this thing, but I do recommend that you support it internally and connect it to as many points as possible with a metal stock. The walls are thin enough to go ahead and drill through your fiber optics if you were going to go crazy and light this thing, because there's a whole bunch of fiber optics happening underneath. This is the underside, but thin enough where you can feed in your fiber, you can feed in your LEDs. All of those light boxes and light cages are mounted underneath here. Just drill your holes, mount those guys. What an amazing project for lighting. Who's going to be the first to build this fully finished blimp all lit, Randy? I was mentioning earlier how this model gets larger once you add on the aerials. Here's one of them. You can see this. This is a 3D printed version. I will also be providing files that you can brass etch, which I think is the proper way to photo etch these aerials. But you can see this adds another good 3.5, 4 inches. They're in the back too, so this is going to be really giant once you start adding in all of these aerials. What else do I have to show you? The gondola. Despite how large this is how big the rear gondola is, I might overscale these just a little bit, just to give them more size. This guy lives back here, and again, to attach it, you would need to braze some brass wires, a brass tube, to get these attached. This guy is something like this down here. The light boxes, you can see how it's big, but some of these details are pretty small. But I'm looking forward to seeing whoever is going to be building this fully lit. Here's the one of the engines. Alright guys, there it is. Physical kit, finally. Offworld Blimp Blade Runner. Absolutely insane. This is available now. Check for the links in the video description on where to get this, how you can download the digital file if you want to 3D print it on your own, or where to order this beautiful physical kit. I love it. Guys, I'll see you in the next video.